This is my podcast for Tuesday, the 30th of March 2021. A warm welcome to all of our friends, fans, community members, participants, squad mates and viewers worldwide on many different platforms. Thank you for joining us for our podcast today. Thank you for supporting our online community. A wonderful, warm, sunny, summery day here in North London suburbs. It has been almost 25 degrees Celsius, so really, truly wonderful, very unusual, and one of the hottest days on record ever. Never ever did we have such a hot day in March, and I personally was delighted, went out, enjoyed some of the sunshine, had a wonderful dinner quite early in the day, and definitely enjoyed this occurrence of early spring. We've heard that there will be a lot more rain and clouds coming our way during the next few days. The Easter looks rather muggy, windy and full of rain, but certainly today was thoroughly enjoyable, and I desperately need a lot more sunshine compared to what I had recently. I can see that on my skin as it's so hot. I went out, short sleeves, and really honestly I can tell I'm very pale, I'm very shrivelly, and need to get a lot more fresh air, sunshine and daylight. But on the other hand, we've had plenty of fun, a lot of activity, a lot of good time here live online during the last 12 months, and I certainly can say to my community that never ever have I been as interactive, as busy and as communicative as during that period. And quite frankly, today we'll spend a bit of time talking about COVID and all of the support systems online which we all have been enjoying. And I want to tell you also about the services I provided, because I was actively involved in the fight against this dreadful disease, and I wanted to tailor some of these activities also here on Twitch through our online forums, and therefore we provided quite a lot of support to people who were shielding, who were in quarantine, and who otherwise were cut off from the rest of the world. We did have a few players who were unfortunately having COVID, and I can tell you that I played with 3 players who were indeed suffering from the disease live online. 2 of them were younger men who played Warzone with me, and 1 was doing Apex. So none of them had severe symptoms, none of them developed the deadly, lethal COVID that sadly have taken so many lives away during the last 12 to 13 months. But you know, my channel online also was providing a lot of space and time for people to explore their own issues and everything else that's been happening for them during this absolutely dreadful period of human history. So we'll talk about that a bit later. But first of all, we'll be looking at the news. And first of all, I want to thank everyone for taking time to write. And I've had quite a few different messages coming in supporting the podcast and all that we said and all that we do here. And I'm delighted to hear that our friends are learning from some of my ramblings and musings and descriptions and all of our community interactions, and indeed taking away some of the tips and tricks in order to build their own Twitch and YouTube channels. So that's exactly what we want to see. We want to see people being inspired and doing what we are doing in order to connect with others worldwide. So yesterday we spent the whole session looking at various issues attached to our community, and today we'll be just doing the other side of things, which is the news. We'll have a look at the news and I'll tell you all about that's been going on worldwide in our video gaming community. So just bear with us, I need to get my news up and running. So we hear that get a hit before they hit you in Knockout City. So high above Knockout City is a single voice that narrates the epic dog brawl battles unfolding below. After all, when you're radio DJ broadcasting from the moon, you need a really good show, and where better to find this than in Chaos City. So catch other brawlers with surprise chaos when you curve your shot or fake a toss. In the heat of a match, screen border indicators warn you when you are targeted by other brawlers. Pay attention and keep your reflexes sharp. This is a game of timing and it's a good time for everyone. So that's obviously Knockout City. You can also play 3 versus 3. And let me see, Knockout City will be launching on Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S on May the 21st. And before then, you can catch the cross-platform beta from April the 2nd to April the 4th. The game definitely looks very interesting, and it is, you know, a bit of a kind of a brawl stroke fighting type of game. So remember that, Knockout City coming out on the 21st of May. So we have some other games here coming our way on Xbox Games with Gold, and we heard the April Games with Gold lineup is already here, and on Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S we'll be getting Vikings Wolves of Midgard, then we'll get Truck Racing Championship, and then we'll also be getting some backward compatibility games like Dark Void, and then you can play a spiritual successor to Contra in the shooter game Hardcore Cause Uprising. So 4 games, and Xbox Live Gold members will have exclusive access to these for limited time as part of Games with Gold, and for the Ultimate members who will receive all the fantastic benefits of Gold plus access to over 100 high quality games with Xbox Game Pass. So first of all, you'll get Vikings also Midgard, available from April the 1st to 30th, Truck Racing Championship from April the 16th to May the 15th, Dark Void, a very good game, highly recommended, a 360 game, April the 1st to 15th, and then Hardcore Uprising 16th of April to the 31st. So you probably are very familiar with these games. I'm not going to go through the list, but these are the ones for you to get. So please, just like everyone on PlayStation Plus, do not waste the opportunity. Even if you're not going to play the games, make sure you get them, keep them in your online libraries, and support the publisher and the developer. If you don't do that, and if you keep forgetting, then eventually they'll say nobody's interested and they'll discontinue all the freebies, and we won't have as many freebies as possible, because guess what? The new games are very expensive and we want to be enjoying the freebies. Narita Boy, we have some news on Narita Boy. In fact, I had loads of news on this game today on Twitter. And we have some information coming from Eduardo Fornias, creative director of the game. He said, when I decided to create Narita Boy, I knew it had to be the game that I wanted to play, not the game I thought would please thousands of people. And I do not know them and they do not know me, so Narita Boy had to be a tribute to my childhood. I realized that my love for retro aesthetics came from the emotional connection I had with arcade games in the late 1980s. I've forgotten plenty of things throughout my life, but the smell of fried food and sounds of the arcade machines always stuck with me. Realized that we were able to connect with this place in the past where everything was great and there was no problems. I could connect with future players of Narita Boy, past, present and future, so therefore the game was born. So the next thing I did was explore the cultural references of my younghood and understand what my connection was to each. For example, He-Man and how the sword transforms an ordinary man into a mighty hero. So Legendary Sword. Another example, The Last Starfighter, where a boy that used to live in a van is recruited by aliens due to his abilities as a gamer. Another note, the ability to play a video game. An extraordinary element could completely change the life of an ordinary man, and this was a common feature in my cultural references. While looking at all these elements, I was creating the foundations of Narita Boy. So it tells us a lot more about the game, and it's a lengthy description. And he said, thinking about the aftertaste, I realized that I needed Narita Boy to be like waking after a fever dream. I wanted the aesthetic to immerse you in the game and last in your memory. For this last challenge, I was inspired by some works of art where the strangeness of the aesthetic literally blew my mind. I'm talking about Beyond the Black Rainbow by Panos Cosmatos, some short films of Lasco Broca, the Chronocrimes of Nako Vigalondo, and many others. I wanted to create an aesthetic that takes you to uncomfortable places in your subconscious. All these artists leave parts of the story unexplained, enabling your imagination to fill them with your own fears and phobias, and for me it's essential that the game operates at the emotional level of the player. So the game is available straight away on Microsoft Store, $24.99 at the moment. Loads of news on this game on Twitter today, so not really read them all, but as you could hear from the creative director, he was very influenced by the 1980s films and television series and arcade games. He wants to reincorporate all of that into a very beautiful looking game, as it a beautiful looking game that Narita Boy really is. So they were also recommending us brand new headphones, but they're just recommending us Bang & Olufsen Beoplay Portal. But to be honest with you, the new Xbox wireless headset that was introduced last week to me is definitely topping it. It is a wonderful, wonderful headset, and I really want to have it and highly recommend it to everyone. It is also giving you the opportunity to use it either as wireless or connected through the USB, so either way it will work well. And also it has have very, very high quality, high definition sound, so anyone doing Outriders or Mass Effect or Fallout 4 76 will have the very best possible immersive experience of the open world. Smite celebrates its 7th birthday with new update, so that is definitely of interest. I played Smite last week, and I did actually give you some screenshots on my Twitter as well. So the new Smite update, Talents of Tyranny, brings a birthday bash, a new event, perfect battle pass, and a lot more. And we can obviously access it on Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S. Smite turned lucky number 7 on March the 25th, and we want to spend it with you. To celebrate, we've added a free 2-week in-game event, which is called Birthday Bash. You can complete quests and unlock awesome gifts such as the community submitted avatars, boosters and gems. There will be new rewards every day, so be sure to log in and not miss out. Collect any 6 event items to unlock the exclusive classic Ayo Kuang Kuloklan skin. And that is not all. For some extra celebration, we are having a gem and ultimate gold pack sale up to 50% off. So this update also starts the all-new Talons of Tyranny event and our major spring event. Tiamat, the savior of the world, has banished Cthulhu with her rival, but is she friend or foe? You and the gods must discover her true nature. If she is a friend, that is fortunate. If she is an enemy, that is dangerous. The Talons of Tyranny event will span over the next 4 major content updates and include new skins, quests, new gods and rewards. Headlining the event is the dark, eerie addition to the Tier 5 line, Forgotten Gods Shack. A priest of a forgotten mythology, the last human to know of these old gods, has been chosen as the vessel. The priest uses a gifted relic to transform into 3 gods: optimism, passion and rage. Unlock all items from all 4 chapter chests to earn this incredible reward. Can't it wait? But all to immediately unlock Forgotten Gods Shark skin and pre-order all future skins in the Talons of Tyranny event. I have to say that the game looks absolutely beautiful. You know, on next-gen console must be really jaw-dropping. You know, I just looked at it the other day and I've taken a few screenshots. It was just looking really, really cool. Smite's been around for 7 years. Last but certainly not least, this update also includes the Heroes of the Wild Battle Pass. The fluffiest adventures are joining the battleground of the gods. When you purchase the Battle Pass, you will instantly unlock Heroic Husky Fenrir. Then earn more rewards like Sushi Nekobakus and Shibi Inu Amaterasu just for playing Smite. And we can't forget the final Battle Pass reward, Necromancer Zhong Kui. He's definitely the coolest cat in town. We are forever thankful to be celebrating our 7th birthday with you. We have so many more exciting updates, so we hope you'll spend even more birthdays with us in the future. We'll see you on the battleground of the gods. So as you know, Smite is a free-to-play game on all platforms. You can just simply download and crack on, but don't forget you also can get lots of items there through the in-game currency, or indeed simply you can buy them whenever you wish. We have another very interesting Wild West tale. It's called El Hijo. So, welcome to the world of El Hijo, a Wild West tale, where one boy must brave the odds to find his mother and reunite what's left of his family. As a boy, you will have to sneak your way through 30 increasingly difficult levels on a treacherous journey across the shady monastery, deadly deserts, bleak mines, and lawless frontier towns. The story takes place in a classic spaghetti western setting. After the death of his father and a savage bandit attack on the family's farm, El Hijo is, for his own safety, sent to live in a monastery far away. Concerned about his mother, following the raiders' tracks on a quest for revenge, he decides to escape and soon discovers matters around his new home are rather suspicious. Use the weapons of a child, toys and mischief to deceive your adversaries and inspire other children to stand up against the ongoing injustice. Find your way out and uncover a conspiracy with roots far deeper than anyone could imagine. So the boy cherishes his freedom more than anything and will challenge whoever stands in his way to escape the clutches of a life in confinement and to find his way back to his loving mother. So now this game is available on Xbox, and it's called El Hijo, a Wild West Tale. $19.99 is the price. Genesis Noir is a game I downloaded overnight, and I'm very, very curious to try it. I've not tried it yet, and this is a game also introduced last week on ID, the Xbox presentation. So very, very interesting trailers and all that's been said about it. And this is basically an adventure game that takes place before, during and after the Big Bang. A cosmic gunshot expands towards the heart of a god. You must explore the universe, seeking clues on how creation might be undone. This is a creation myth and film noir. A love triangle erupts between No Man, a watch peddler stuck in a deterministic hell, Golden Boy, a narcissistic artist who loves to create and destroy, and Miss Mass, an alluring jazz singer who attracts all who come close. So the Big Bang results and history begins. So you have the whole lot of different characters and puzzles, and like any good film noir, Genesis Noir is filled with a booping jazz soundtrack, sounds of silent streets, and the ambience of a cosmic microwave background. You might even play a tune or two yourself. We've been working really hard on Genesis Noir and are happy to announce you can help destroy the Big Bang starting today. It's been tremendously fun learning about astrophysics, classic film, human history, and science fiction to create a pulpy story with touches of existentialism, and we hope you enjoy playing Genesis Noir as much as we loved making it. So that was coming from the developer Evan Anthony and Jeremy Abel. Feral Cat Den is the developer. The game is available on Game Pass free of charge. Simply download, or you can get it on the price of $11.99, a special offer in view of all that's been given to us the other day. Death's Door coming to Xbox Series X and S this summer. So we've seen that game also introduced through the presentation of ID at Xbox, and it's coming to Xbox Series X and S later in the year. This is a dream game for that very small team of developers, and they couldn't wait to share this unique and distinctive world that they've been busy handcrafting over the past few years. It's a fantasy action adventure set in a world where crows are in charge of reaping the souls of the dead, operating from the headquarters known as the Hall of Doors. One of the crows, that's you, gets sent on an assignment to a twisted place where nothing has died for several centuries. So quite frankly, it is similar to the game we played here on DRBMiller, introducing a game called Spiritfarer, a game about souls, but I think this one will have slightly darkish undertones compared to the other, which is giving you, glowing positivity literally throughout. So I'm very, very excited about the game. So the game is Death's Door coming, and then also we talked about 12 minutes yesterday, and we've covered all of these news. We'll just have a look on Twitter to see whether there is anything else of interest that would have come our way. And you would have seen that my Twitter has been very much looking at hashtag visible women. We had on Friday a podcast done by the team that works on Xbox UK, which was dedicated to women in the industry, and I will dedicate my podcast this week, one of the podcasts, to this wonderful presentation. And in the meantime, I'm supporting the effort that is presented through hashtag visible women, and that's basically a list of lots of different women who work in the industry, and they work for various development firms, ladies who were involved in production of games like The Last of Us and Avengers, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn. The list just goes on and on. So you can basically have a look at all the postings on my Twitter. There are retweets. There's quite a large selection of those ladies who are industry leaders, and each one of them was giving a brief description of their career and their current works. So very, very interesting for everyone to look at, and you'll be basically introduced to lots of different games and to the creators of some of them. It's interesting, but when you are hearing about a big biopic, a big AAA blockbuster film, you'll be always identifying this film through the name of the director and a few stars, but there's always a very large team of people who work in production, and they're equally important, but you never ever get to know the names, and therefore I feel it's more than fitting that us, the online community on Twitch and YouTube, pay some, attention to these names and provide them with some degree of exposure. So this is certainly one of those events. Hashtag visible women, and you will get all of that information on my Twitter. Well, Boy Married, for instance, is one of them. Hannah Yoon is another, and Celine Deweese, and Zoe Crowns, and Katja Burkina, Diana Toplan. The list just goes on, and you can have a look. Team Kill Media share more details on next-gen cosmic horror game Quantum Error, following its future game show trailer at Games Radar. So they were doing that yesterday, I think, and they said we have a Metal Gear style story in a Halo world with a Dead Space twist inside PS5 cosmic horror Quantum Error with Team Kill Media. and it is starting out as a claustrophobic survival horror game walking the footsteps of Dead Space, but our glimpse at a new mission set on the open terrain of Jupiter proves this next-gen experience goes far beyond those genre delineations. The demo begins with multiple monstrosities charging at our hero in a concentrated attack from all angles of Jupiter, hazy red windstorms forcing him to fluently switch between weapons while strafing and jumping away from enemy blows like death-dealing ballerina. Well, I'm very curious about the game and not played the demo. I need to have a look at it. It was done through Games Radar, so remember Quantum Error is targeting PS5, and I did see some trailers. Random Wipeout PS1 Introduction Remake is a total knockout. Well, let's see. What did they say about the game? Sony may be shutting down the PlayStation 3 storefront and abandoning decades of legacy content as a consequence, but the love for Wipeout lives on as this remake of the original PS1 game's introduction cinematic. What's that? As this remake of the original PS1 game's intro cinematic evidences. Benjamin Brosdo updated the clip onto YouTube earlier this week, and it's already attracting attention from the title's development team, including co-creator Nick Burkholm. According to Brosdo, work on this project started in 2009, but was rebooted earlier this year in 2021. I got back to it after finding some old files related to it on my hard drives. Built everything new from scratch. Of course, technologies come so much further in the meantime. So that looks good, and so we'll be just all waiting to see what happens next. All of this has just left us longing for a new Wipeout game. There have been attempts to resurrect the futuristic racing genre with titles like Pacer. You can't beat the real thing, it seems. Unlikely Sony will return to it. Although remaster Wipeout Amiga Collection was a big success, but at least we've always have this beautiful cinematic to lust over, says Push Square. Fortnite adds raptors, makes crafting less of a pain. Well, good to know. There's an article on Eurogamer telling you all about it, so if you're interested, let's see, what did it say? Fortnite's new Primal season got its first update this morning, and dinosaurs now roam the game's island. Like other wildlife, raptors are teamable with a hunter's cloak item. If you feel brave enough, there's no way to command them from a motorbike. And all the fans, we've been expecting these dinos to appear since Chapter 2, Season 6, which kicked off about 2 weeks ago. Suspicious looking eggs around the island been slowly cracking, with the sounds inside suggesting that it wasn't something left by the Easter Bunny. Well, that's good. I'm not playing Fortnite at the moment, but I'm sure our friends and fans and veterans out here will be truly excited. And there you go, Xbox Wire, a big article on Narita Boy. We're just telling you all about it, so very, very excited about the game. Alright, so that's the news for today. All the news can be found on my Twitter, so if you're interested, just have a look, browse through all the details. And don't forget to read everything that would have come to us through #VisibleWomen, supporting women in video gaming industry. Quite a selection of game designers, developers and other team leaders who were involved with lots and lots of different games. We are celebrating their participation, their careers and their work this week. Right, so I did receive a message, just a moment, I did receive a message from Sam, just a moment. I've lost my stream and I can't really see it at the moment. Alright, there we are. Sam was writing us a message, and she's in Brighton. Thank you, Sam, for providing us with your thoughts and views on the channel. She said, I've been enjoying your podcasts of late and I really like your Destiny streams. I was a regular viewer a couple of years ago, you probably remember me, and I really like what you did during the lockdown. I feel that your channel has provided me and other participants with an opportunity to talk, to connect, and to spend my time usefully during this dreadful period of our history. I also felt that you brought in quite a lot of people who are suffering from health issues or indeed have disabilities, and therefore you gave us an all-inclusive, family-friendly forum on your channel, which was giving us a lot of support during the COVID months. And she thought also, she says, that the channel was providing an additional network for everyone who was shielding, who was needing support, and indeed people who were perhaps of an advanced age requiring a lot more care and attention. This forum, she says, was giving us space and time for everything to be explored, and I particularly loved the sections of your broadcast where you all chatted and you didn't bother with the gameplay. Well, first of all, Sam from Brighton, thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for writing, and it's great to see and hear that you indeed had spotted that the channel was providing a very active, very interactive forum for everyone who was shielding and spending time indoors. In fact, I can certainly tell you that my Warzone community, that's been run for last, about 7 months, I think, maybe a bit longer, was probably the most energetic, the most vibrant one, as several members of our community, and we all are based in different parts of the world. Two of us, Spurs and myself, are based in England, but I know for a fact that our friends in Holland, in Norway, in Belgium and France, and North Macedonia, and Finland, and Sweden, and Denmark, and Germany also have been spending a lot of time indoors, and therefore were connecting with us. In fact, the entire community was built because of the lockdown. We could not be growing the regiment or building the community as fast, and indeed we couldn't be meeting every single day and doing our sessions live online as successfully in other circumstances. Just to expand on this, my channel is a family-friendly, all-inclusive channel for people who are indeed experiencing some difficulties, people who've gone through hardship, anyone experiencing any form of health issue or difficulty, as well as suffering from disability. That's always been the premise of this channel. A channel for learners, a channel for communities to be built, a very family-friendly, very laid-back, highly entertaining Twitch program with lots of interesting, high-quality content. And this dreadful lockdown had provided us with this opportunity. In fact, gave us space and time that could be usefully spent, and I tried to do my very best. And partly outside of my broadcast, I've helped people who have gone through COVID, and through my professional services, I run another service which is live online, and I was able to assist those who had survived the illness, or indeed people who suffered losses. So this is separate works, and this all would have been done through individual referrals. But on the other hand, being here live online and running a Twitch channel also gave me the opportunity to provide space and time for anyone who was suffering through the period of lockdown, and basically to jump in, to connect, to make new friendships, to play games, to talk about everything. And I've got to say, I did have several Warzone streams that were lasting 3 or 4 hours that were just spent on our discussions. What's going on, how people are coping, what are the methods and the measures that we are applying in order to suppress the virus, how are we surviving, when do we go out, etc., etc. So it became really like a live online discussion forum on the means and methods and support systems which we are applying and using in order to survive this very difficult period. And that's exactly the same for everyone. Obviously, me being a senior mental health professional and also a broadcaster and a person who's well versed in a variety of different online and offline activities which are community based, or community management, so to speak. I really wanted to make sure that my community here would give as much space and time to everyone who was needing it. And it was to my true delight that we kept very busy, we kept very energetic, we managed to play lots of different matches, we managed to support people who were in the need, and there were several members of our community who were experiencing severe difficulties. So, at the end of the day, if you are needing to be quarantined, if you have to be spending a lot of time indoors, what you must not do is to be feeling alone or feeling cut off. And today we are blessed with lots of different gadgets and apps and means through which we can connect with other people. And I think certainly streaming on YouTube and Twitch is one of the very best, because A, you will have a subject of interest, a particular game or series of games. Secondly, you will have a channel where people can chat and connect, and then you can just build communities through all these contacts, and that's exactly what we did. And I received quite a few messages of gratitude, coming from some of the viewers we have a couple of viewers who actually are always having the stream on, and even if they're doing some work or doing something in the house or talking to the family, they still will have our stream switched on when it is indeed broadcast live, and they'll be listening to it. So I think that is really a truly remarkable compliment to all that we do, because some people just enjoyed our chats, our discussions, our community-based content, because like I said in my recent podcast, content creation is not just down to the content the leader of the channel, the person who's the owner. It's all about the community, and we all become active participants. I'm responsible for the overall content. I'm the one who will know what can be or what should not be transmitted here live on air, and all of my online participants are providing us with thoughts, experiences and views, which become part and parcel of our overall content. So really the channel has been supporting everyone at all times, and I have to say at times was very, very tiring, and I could not wait really for my seasonal break now, and because really just before it I got very, very tired, and the experience of COVID pandemic was taking a heavy toll on me. I personally was not affected by the virus. I've not suffered from the virus, but I was affected by the experiences of many other people who sadly either had the virus or had lost their loved ones, and then the imminent threat to my own health in my own local community. I said many times before, I did survive a similar virus of swine flu in 2007, and it left me very, very seriously affected. I was recovering from it for 6 years, so I know perfectly well from my own personal experience how dreadful it is if you survive one of those dreadful viruses, and I know what type of consequences it will cause, and my heart sinks when I hear such stories. But on the other hand, I feel really truly elated and delighted when I receive messages of support from so many people who are using our forum here live online in order to feel supported, because that's exactly why this channel is here, for people to connect and to feel supported. And Sam was asking, actually not just asking, but describing how she found the channel was very, very inclusive, and she felt that support given to certain people who are participants was definitely very great, and she enjoyed that. And I can say what I really always try to do is to live by example. So for instance, when I watch certain programs and listen to certain podcasts, I get inspired, and I want to be then doing something similar, not in order to provide a copycat, but because I want to be using that energy, that inspiration, for something that will be given the same sort of good, the same sort of space to somebody else, right? So I learned from others, and then applied maybe my own skills and my own ideas to the forum, and it all worked. And I can certainly tell you, one of the podcasts I listen to all the time is the one done by Jeff and Larry for Xbox. I listen to very many different radio programs and podcasts online, and theirs is just absolutely truly inspirational. They do it every single week, and every one of those episodes is so rich with information, with enthusiasm, soaked in passion for video gaming, so interesting in terms of the content and all the discussions that are present in there every single week. And I just take away from every single episode everything that makes me feel really highly energetic and truly inspired. It's the energy, it's the passion, it's the fact that our friends never tire, and they always have something interesting to say, and the way they combine their personal experience with the overall kind of factual presentations, the news and the usual sort of industry-based drivel, is incredible, because you listen to some of the most mundane, the most uninteresting, boring bits which are presented in a very exciting fashion, and you kind of really want to know more, and that is what really inspires me. So the channel in here with my broadcasts as well as online gaming has been definitely connected to these ideas, and always very pleased to see that people are enjoying the content and that they are finding lots of things of interest and support. And I do know personally, because I received messages from specific community members who felt that this channel and specifically our gaming in Warzone, Destiny, Apex, Halo, and what was the other game? Well, those four really were really providing them with the greatest possible support throughout the period of the pandemic. So that, that's really more than satisfying. It's just the best possible compliment that I could have had ever, and I'm truly grateful because as an entrepreneur, you really are always striving towards excellence. You're always doing your very best, and you want to provide forums that are of interest to others. So when you are experiencing this degree of mutuality, where the responses and the feedback is spontaneous and people really appreciate what you do, that's the very best of rewards. Because in everyday work, certainly in my professional services, it's very rarely that I received any form of praise. It's just also connected to the nature of the work. When you deal with utmost people's difficulties and shattered lives, then people are not really up to it. But I wouldn't be expecting any praise either. If somebody was giving it to me, I'd be highly suspicious. But this forum is something else, and I think we did have a very, very good, very positive experience. And in hindsight, I basically wish I could have done maybe more, but there's only that many hours in a day, and broadcasting and talking live online and connecting can be at times very, very tiring. And all of you, my community members, brought a lot of energy to me as well. My regulars for Destiny streams and Warzone really kept me going and provided me with moments which I will always treasure. Some of the very best online gaming experiences I've ever had. I said that many times to Paphos, and Paphos will remember this. There were two situations in Warzone that we had whilst we played in a squad together that sometimes make me wake up 3 o'clock in the morning and I laugh because they're so hilarious, they're so entertaining, and they will stay with me forever. And they were just literally the result of close bonds, the squad work, a 4-piece that we had every single day, but also these specific situations where Paphos was faced with certain challenges and he reacted in a way which was absolutely hilarious. And I will never be able to forget this, even if I press that delete button. And it's just so great. These are the moments that make our lives worthwhile, and these are the bonds we made from random contacts initially, and you've seen that the entire regiment and the group that's been participating in Warzone streams basically was built within a very short period of time, but we just struck chord together, and everything was so great, and there was a great sense of unity, and certainly everyone was supportive of each other, and certainly other members of our community, the ones who were not so frequently live online, were able to receive that support from us individually. So that all together worked beautifully well throughout the lockdown, and I look forward to many more great matches and many more supportive events here. Also in the future, what we want to do is connect maybe some of our activities here with charitable works. In Britain, we've not really developed that to a degree like in the US, and I'm very sad about this because I was a fundraiser for several charities and was very actively involved for quite a few years, and we still are looking at the more conventional means to which the funds are raised, just to do with the way our system works. But I'm certainly hoping that in the near future we are going to be able to do live streams that will be supporting a particular charitable effort, and that will require obviously a huge support from certain entities in order to make sure that everyone knows that we are doing it, and we'll have then a much greater active participation from the members of the public rather than just few members of the gaming community. So all of that is indeed very, very exciting. These are the times that I feel very, very happy about, and I want to see many of those activities developing and taking place in the near future. Alright, my friends, we've come to the end of our podcast for this wonderful, beautiful, sunny Tuesday, and I'm sad that I was able to deliver the broadcast so late in the day, but the day was just too beautiful for me to spend indoors, and after having my vaccine I feel a bit liberated. I adhere to all the measures, I do not socialize, I do not meet anyone, but just feel a bit stronger, a bit more encouraged, a bit more courageous in order to go out and get some sunshine, enjoy some of the fresh air. And fresh air has been included in government bans as well. We have the banner saying, I can't even remember what it is now, but it ends with fresh air, and I will certainly be having a lot more of that fresh air earlier in the day compared to what I've had during the last 12 months. So thank you for listening to me and my podcast. Thank you for supporting all we do here live online. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did, and we'll be back tomorrow with more on our community activities, more on the news, and all else that is to follow. So thank you for watching, and I wish you all a very good night.